Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful shoulder dart dress with a stylish pattern on the front. If this is a video you're interested in, please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. Right now, we're going to go ahead and draft the pattern on my fabric. I already have a video on my channel showing you how to draft the pattern, but right now, I'm going to go ahead and draft on fabric. I'll be using this type of Ankara fabric, which is a two pattern fabric. So I'll be making use of the two pattern to make this style. Right now, we're going to go ahead with the drafting by marking our shoulder to bust line, our shoulder to bust point, our shoulder to waist, and our shoulder to hip. My shoulder to bust line is 9 inches, my shoulder to my bust point is 10.5, my shoulder to my waist is 16 inches, and my shoulder to my hip is 23 inches. But for the sake of this style, I'll be stopping at the top of my hip, which is 22 inches. I'll be marking 22 inches, so I'll use that measurement and I'll go ahead and just extend the lines just as shown. After that, the next step is to impute our measurement. I'll go to my starting line and I'll be marking my shoulder measurement, which is 16 inches divided by 2. That will give me 8. So I'll go ahead and mark the 8 inches. I'll mark that 8 inches both on my starting line and on my bust line, and I'll connect with a straight line. I need this shoulder measurement because I'll be drafting my darts. So now for my extended sleeves, I'll be marking 10 inches, but on the thumbnail you should mark, if you want yours shorter, you should mark like 5 inches or 4 inches, but I want my sleeves longer, so I marked 10 inches for my sleeve. So I'll come down by 1.5 inches for my sleeve slope, so I'll go ahead and mark that and connect it to the 4 inches neck width. I don't want my neck too tight, so I marked 4 inches for my neck width, so I'll connect that to my shoulder just as. The next step is to mark my neck length. My neck length for the front pattern will be 5 inches. I don't want mine too tight, so I'll be marking 5 inches for my neck length. So I'll go ahead and curve my neckline just as shown. After marking my neckline, we'll proceed to my bust, to my shoulder, to the shoulder slope, and I'll be marking the midpoint for the shoulder slope. So my midpoint is 2 inches. The total length for that shoulder slope is 4. I mark the midpoint 2 inches. Then on my bust point, I'll mark my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 inches divided by 2. That will give me 4 plus 0.5 inches of sewing allowance. That will give me 4.5. I'll go ahead and mark that 4.5 from my bust point down to my length. I'll take that measurement and connect with a straight line just as shown. So I'll connect the straight line to meet the midpoint of my shoulder dart to form my shoulder dart. So I'll be going on the shoulder dart, I'll be marking 0.5 inches on both sides, and I'll be connecting that line to meet the bust point line. If you don't understand what I'm doing, please just watch the video. You can pause it, go back and rewatch if you don't understand any part of the video. After that, I'll proceed to my waistline and I'll be taking 1 inch on both sides for my dart take in. And on my pattern drafting, I did 0.5, but on the fabric, because I'll be using my measurements for this pattern, I marked 1 inch on both sides for my dart taking. So I'll go ahead now and curve it just as shown. After curving, I'll proceed to the next step of marking my sleeve length, which is 10 inches. You can make yours shorter than that, but I prefer 10 inches. So I mark the 10 inches and I'll just connect with a straight line just as shown. After doing that, the next step is to impute my measurements for my waist and my hip. I'll go to my waist, and my total waist round is 38 divided by 4. That will give me 9.5. I'll mark the 9.5, 2 inches of dart taking and 2 inches of sewing allowance. I'll go ahead and mark that measurement. I'll go to my hip line and I'll be marking my hip for 4 divided by 4. That will give me 11 inches. I'll mark that 11 inches and I'll be marking 2 inches for the sewing allowance. I'll go ahead now and just connect my lines and curve to my sleeve just as shown. If you don't understand what I'm doing, please just watch the video. And if you have watched to this point, please give this video a like so that YouTube can help push out my content and people can learn from me. This tutorial is a very simple tutorial. It's a very beautiful, stylish dress. So I'll go ahead now and impute that same measurement. The next step is to proceed to joining the lines together. I'll do that now. Then the next step is to curve out the front pattern. That's the style on the front pattern. I'll proceed to doing that. Please just watch how I do this part. Don't make a mistake while doing yours. You want to draw your curve to meet the dart intake, just like I've done in my video. You want to draw your curve to meet the dart intake. The next step is to mark my basque line. So I'll go down by 2.5 inches just as shown and mark the basque waistline. So I'll just take a ruler and just connect the lines just as shown. The next step is to confirm my measurement for my back length. I'll be marking 22 inches for my back length, so I just wanted to confirm with my front pattern so that I'll be able to draft my 22 inches length on my back pattern. So after that, I'll just be going ahead to confirm my measurements. If you're a beginner, I would advise you draft on a paper pattern first before drafting on your fabric. If you're a beginner, please do this because you might likely make a mistake. Draft on your pattern paper before drafting on fabric. So I'm going ahead now to just confirm my measurements, and after that I'll proceed to just correcting my measurement and cutting out the pattern. If you have watched to this point, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, subscribe so you'll be the first to be notified whenever I upload a sewing tutorial content like this. And if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section and I'll be sure to reply. Thank you for watching my videos, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for liking my videos. Right now we'll proceed to cutting out the pattern. Watch how I cut out my pattern so you don't make a mistake cutting out yours. Take your time in cutting out your pattern, okay? Take your time in cutting out your pattern, don't make a mistake. The next step is to cut out my lining piece for this pattern. I use the Ankara fabric to line the front pattern, and I use the normal lining to line the back pattern. You can decide not to line it and use the bias tape for the finishing of both the neckline and the sleeves, but I wanted to line my own, so I decided to use the Ankara fabric to line the front pattern and the normal lining for the back pattern. And I use the Ankara fabric so that I'll be able to come out a particular type of pattern. So I'll be showing you the finished look to see how the pattern turned out. So right now I'm just notching the bust point and also the waistline, so I won't make a mistake when I'm assembling my patterns together. So right now we are done with the front pattern. I'll proceed to marking the back pattern. When drafting your back pattern, please mark your zipper allowance first, which is 1 inches. I made a mistake in my measurement, so I decided to, advise that you mark your zipper allowance first before marking your measurement. So I'll proceed now to marking my shoulder to bust line, shoulder to bust point, my shoulder to waist, and my shoulder to length, which is 22 inches. I'll proceed to marking those measurements and extending lines just as shown. I'm just repeating my measurement. On marking, I discovered that my measurement is not aligning with what I want. The back sleeve will be shorter, so I decided to extend the folding of the fabric so that I'll be able to mark my measurements easily. After that, the next step is to mark my measurement. I'll be marking my shoulder, which is 8 inches, and I'll be marking my neck width of 4 inches for the back and 1 inch for the neck length, for the back neck length. So I'll proceed to marking my sleeve of 10 inches for the back as well, and I'll just proceed to marking the 1.5 inches of shoulder slope for the back sleeves. I'll connect that to meet the shoulder slope, the neck width of 4 inches just as shown. The next step is for me to proceed with curving my neckline, my back neckline. And after marking my neckline, that's when I realized I didn't add my zipper allowance. So I went ahead to mark 1 inch all the way down, and I marked my zipper allowance. Thank God I had extra allowances on the fabric. So I just went ahead to just mark my 1 inch of zipper allowance. And after then, I proceeded to marking my measurements. I marked my measurement. I just adjusted my neck width of 1 inches and I just curved it and connected it. So I went ahead to mark my measurement for my bust point. That's my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 inches divided by 2. That will give me 4 plus 0.5 inches of sewing allowance. That will give me 4.5. So I marked that on the bust point down to meet my length. So I'll be using a basic dart for my back. You can use a shoulder dart for the back if that's what you want, but I'll be using a basic dart for this back pattern. So I just marked 1 inch on both sides for my dart stake in, and I just connected the lines to the bust point just as shown. And I went ahead to impute my measurement, my sleeve length of 10 inches, and my waist measurement of 38 divided by 4, that will give me 9.5, plus 2 inches of sewing allowance and 1 inches of dart taking. And on the hip, I marked 44 divided by 4, that's 11, plus 2 inches of dart taking and plus 2 inches of sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead now and connect those lines just as shown, and with this I'll go ahead to my waistline to mark my zipper allowance. I'll be going in on the waistline by 0.5 and be going outwards by 0.5 just to remove zipper bulge. I'll go ahead and do that, and after that we are done with the back pattern. After doing that, I'll cut out my back pattern and we'll be done with cutting out the back pattern. The next step is to cut out the back pattern, so I'll proceed to doing that. If you're a beginner, please just watch how I cut out my pattern. Don't make a mistake cutting out your back pattern. Cut out your pattern. Take your time in cutting out your pattern. And after cutting out the pattern, I'll go ahead and assemble the patterns together, and we'll begin the joining together and sewing the fabrics together. So here's the fabric I'm using for the gathers for the dress. So I'm working with a length of 37 inches and a width of 27 inches. So I've gone ahead to attach my lining to my front pattern. I'm just showing how I turn it inside out. So I'll proceed to doing that for both the front pattern and the back pattern as well. I'll proceed to sewing the seams together, attaching my lining piece, and I'll be joining and be marking my dart intake for the back. My dart intake for the length is 11 inches, and I'll be going inwards by 1 inch for the dart taking, and I'll just connect with a straight line just as shown. After marking my dart take in, we are done with the back pattern. I proceeded to marking the same darts for the back pattern for the both sides. So I've gone ahead to do that, and it came out really looking nice. I've gone ahead to give it a good press. It came out really looking nice. I love the outcome. Here is the beautiful back piece that I've gone to join together, both with my lining piece, and I've gone to attach the dart. I've given it a good press. So it came out really looking nice. I'll assemble the front fabric with the back pattern, the front pattern with the back pattern. So I've gone ahead to attach my lining as well for the front pattern. It came out really looking nice. I'll proceed now to joining the shoulder and the sleeves together. After joining the sleeves and the sides and the shoulder together, it came out really looking nice. This is the outcome. It came out really looking nice. Now the upper bodice is ready, so I'll proceed now to just attaching the gathers for the dress. I'll attach that to the bodice, and I'll just be showing you the fabric I'll be using. So here is how I assembled the pattern to look like and to turn out. So here's the finished look for the joining. I've gone ahead to do that. It came out really looking nice. I love the outcome. I'll be attaching a zipper to this dress, so I'll proceed to attaching a zip, and with that I'll just go ahead and sew the hem, and with that we are done. It came out really looking nice. I love the design. Please don't forget to subscribe. Bye.